Very good morning, my dear students. Today we are going to see the topic agriculture. In social subject, under the geography, we are going to see what do you mean by about agriculture. First of all, we need to know what is meant by agriculture. Agriculture is the backbone of our country. So without agriculture, we can't able to live in this world. That too, through agricultural things only, we are living as a human being. Or maybe either it is a plant, animals or human being. Or maybe without agriculture, it will be very difficult. Then one more thing is, agriculture is main backbone of our country. So for that only, they should be respected. The agriculture and farmers need to be get respected on this particular day. So that's what they have represented. December 23rd is a World Farmers Day. So for that purpose, what are all the things, how the agriculture work has been done, and how the crops, cereals, vegetables, rice and everything has been growing on. So these are the things we are going to discuss it in this chapter. Now write some features of Indian agriculture. What are the features of Indian agriculture? Mainly subsistence agriculture. In this subsistence, mainly intensive subsistence, slash and burn agriculture, primitive subsistence. So likewise, different farmings are there in this agriculture. So that's what we have mentioned as subsistence agriculture. Next one is pressure of population on agriculture. How much the agriculture has been produced and for how many populations mainly this agriculture will be developed. So these are the things that has been mentioned. Then mainly agriculture, what are the another feature is mainly importance of the animal. And another thing is producing a variety of crops. That is depending on the season, it is depending on the monsoon climate, the agriculture production will be more and more. So this is what about the features of agriculture. That is mainly subsistence agriculture, primitive subsistence, intensive subsistence, slash and burn agriculture. Likewise, different formings of agriculture are there in this subsistence agriculture. The next thing is pressure of population on agriculture. Then third one is importance of animal. Mainly for that purpose also agriculture is needed. Because without agriculture, animal can't be able to live. Because for animals also the food is very much necessary. Then depending on the monsoon climate. So when in which climate the crops and the fruits, vegetables, these things, how it will be produced. So those details also we can able to get it. And mainly produce a variety of crop. And next question. Primitive subsistence farming. Primitive subsistence farming means, what do you mean by about primitive subsistence farming? It is a small setup of farming. What do you mean by about small setup of farming? Mainly it will be helpful with the primitive tools like hoe, dove and digging stick and family community labor. That is mainly through this subsistence farming, mainly family community and everything would be done. That's all about this primitive subsistence farming. And also few of the conditions were also be available in this subsistence farming. What is that is, we need to know what is meant by hoe, H-O-E. H-O-E farming means what? H-O-E farming means, that is similar. In the hand itself, they will do the farming. They will be plucking the leaves and everything. So that is what about hoeing. H-O-E. And another thing is D-A-O, dove. D-A-O, dove farming. That is also one farming. That farming is mainly it will be for plucking the leaves and everything. So likewise digging sticks. Through farmers, the farmers will be doing on these things. That is what about primary subsistence farming. They will use only this type of instruments and they will do the farming. So that is what about primary subsistence farming. This type of farming depends on monsoon and natural fertility of the soil and suitability of environmental conditions. That is, mainly they will be depending upon primitive subsistence farming is, it will be depending upon only in the natural time. That is, naturally only they will be interested only in the natural farming. So that is what about primary subsistence farming. The next is slash and burn agriculture. What do you mean by about slash and burn agriculture? Is farmers produce a clear patch of land and produce cereals and other crops, other food crops to sustain their family. That is, slash and burn agriculture is farmers produce a clear path of land. How does they define a clear path of land? Because it will be producing a cereals. Cereals is பருப்பு வகைகள், crop. So food crops, உணவு வகைகள். So that is what for what purpose that cereal crops and food crops is been necessary, mainly to sustain their family. For sustaining their family, we need to do, mainly farmers will produce a clear patch of lands and they will produce that is what slash and burn agriculture means, burning. In the word burning itself, we can able to easily identify as produce cereal crops, food crops. When the soil fertility decreases, the farmers shift and clear a fresh patch of land for cultivation. Mainly for cultivation purpose, how the land and seeds and everything would be prepared and how it would be produced. So this is what about the slash and burn agriculture. This type of shifting allows nature to replenish the fertility of the soil. Soil means what? Mannu, that is mud. Mannu, that's soil. So land productivity is the type of the agriculture. Farmer does not use fertilizers. Yes, one of the main thing in this slash and burn agriculture is these farmers never use any fertilizers, because for this slash and burn agriculture they will clear the patches of the land. First point is they will clear the patches of the land and especially they will produce food cereals, food crops and cereals, and it will produce a high variety of production. But the farmers does not, that is the farmers won't be interested by inserting of the fertilizers. That is, they never use fertilizers. The next thing is they will clear a fresh patch of land for cultivation. Then mainly it will replenish the fertility of the soil purposes. So this is what the slash and burn agriculture. So slash and burn agriculture, where they are using, mainly they are using in Assam, Mizoram, Chhattisgarh, Meghalaya, Nagaland and Manipur. In these states they are using of slash and burn agriculture. The next one is intensive subsistence farming. What do you mean by above intensive subsistence farming? This farming is used only in the high population areas of the land. Mainly, what does it they will use? For getting more production. For getting more production, this type of intensive subsistence farming they will use as fertilizers, biochemical products and everything, and irrigation, mainly for the large production. That is, to obtain a higher production, they will use this of intensive subsistence farming. So this is what about the agriculture of, what do you mean by about agriculture? And next one is primitive subsistence farming, slash and burn agriculture and intensive subsistence agriculture. So this is what about the explanation of agriculture.